Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We are live. Christopher Patel should be here in a little bit. Do me a favor, read the disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. We have no idea what your situation is. Please do your own due diligence. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Matt, can you give you the first word? SpaceX. How are you feeling about this? Did you buy it? Are you surprised? What do you think?
Not surprised. I mean, I think many people have asked me what I thought was going to happen. And I was always leaning a little bit more towards the fact that because of the limited amount of shares initially and everyone wanting to buy into it, retail, institutions, etc., and not everyone can sell right now, that there would be a likelihood of a run. Did I anticipate it going above $200 a share? No. But I definitely was not surprised that it ran. And I think people can go back and check the tapes a lot on that. Where I am curious, and I still I feel like I will be validated on this, is once these shares start to unlock and you have the capacity for the large institutional investors that bought in, the Googles of the world, the other folks that have been funding SpaceX to be able to get it to where it is today, wanting to at least sell out a little bit. I think what I'm curious about is will there be enough retail and institutional buyers from an ETF perspective, like the NASDAQ, et cetera, buying in for it to kind of keep a floor price? And I think it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have a lot of people wanting to sell out when the opportunity comes. And I'm curious, though, what does that mean for other stocks? Does that mean when you have the billions of dollars moving out, of other funds from the Fidelities, the BlackRocks of the world, the people that have invested in this company, is that money going to flow elsewhere? Or are they going to just, for the Google, for example, are they just going to put that into data centers, which, I'm sure some of the companies will. But it'll be interesting as well to see how many people remain large shareholders, hoping that with the $70-odd billion, $75 billion that remains, that they'll be able to buy other things. They've obviously announced the Cursor deal, which I think is bullish for SpaceX and mostly XAI's segment of SpaceX. But are they going to spend a lot more of that capital into investing in additional chips that will hopefully, for SpaceX at least, try to compete with the other big hyperscalers in the industry? So,
yeah, I don't know how I feel because, yes, a lot of people bought and got shares allocated, but you still have a tremendous amount of shares being bought and sold right now. That's not people on lockup. I mean, what was the volume today?
I don't know. I didn't study it. All I know is I have shares, Steve. I'm better than you.
I have shares too, Matt.
Indirectly.
Technically, I am a shareholder, sir.
You personally?
Well, if my name's on the account, right?
Oh!
Just saying.
He's pulling out receipts.
And I bought shares for my nephew. How about that?
Did you buy them or did the shadow government buy them?
No, I said I bought them and I said that I wanted to buy shares for him. And I was told that I got them at 175.
You're a champion, Steve.
So SpaceX traded I can't even say this with a straight face, 322 million shares today.
It's not enough.
Not enough. NVIDIA traded 125 million shares, more than double the share volume of NVIDIA.
Steve, why haven't you traded me?
That's not people on lockup trading and selling their shares. This is retail and hedge funds buying and selling. I mean, this is kind of crazy if you think about it.
And the MIT.
End emit. End emit. I mean,
So you buy more or what?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think I can't afford it, Steve.
Why not? Why not?
What? Why can't I afford it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any more money. I'm broke.
Broke, you say?
But you did turn me into a bag holder, Steve.
What are you talking about?
Community member.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You turned me into a Broadcom community member, Steve.
Oh, stop. I didn't turn you into shit.
Broadcom community member.
But in all seriousness, where do we go from here with SpaceX? Because I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid.
What, in buying for the long term or for?
I'm just saying, I feel like SpaceX, maybe there's something really to this. Maybe there's something really to this. I mean, one, who can compete with him? Two, what if he has an ace up the sleeve and OpenAI is going to do a deal for compute? What if they run this up to 3.5, 4 trillion, then they buy Tesla?
And then what? They use the ad to buy more chips, or what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, at some point, you have to think, who can stop this guy? There's no laws in space. If he has a robot army that's going to build everything, who's going to tell him, no, you can't build? There's no such thing as zoning permits. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Send the National Guard? You can't. You're going to send the Marines? You can't. This has the potential to become the most vertically integrated company we've ever seen. From, like, think about every component of it. And I was just told that Senor Patel is coming, so maybe I'll wait to go down this train of thought, and we can have him do the analysis. But I'm thinking about buying something right now.
What are you gonna buy?
Do I buy this Justin Gaethje card of him jumping off the freaking cage and doing a backflip?
I don't even know who that is.
Such an amazing. What? Don't do that. You didn't watch the fights?
What? Which one is that? Who is that? Is that the second to last guy or the last guy?
Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
And I didn't think he was going to win. I don't know how he survived the second round, but I will tell you this. Matt's trying to be like Conor McGregor. We know. He's trying to be like Conor McGregor.
I'm trying to be like Conor McGregor?
Yeah, when Jeremy Stevens was talking shit to him, he's like, who the F is that guy?
Man, I say that about a lot of people.
Who the F is that
At least
guy?
Spencer loves me, Steve.
Conservative Millennial, thank you so much. Would you say there's something to this if it was selling all week, momentum for now? This is definitely momentum. I would not be surprised if this goes to $100 or lower. But I've said that about Tesla also, and for some reason it never happens. So I don't even know how to begin to answer that.
I'm gonna apologize to absolutely no one, Steve.
Absolutely nobody.
At least I got Mama Spencer hooking me up.
I want to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Chris, how are you?
The bear of the day. What's going on? Here to talk about all this. I always get flamed in the chat for being that, like, the guy that throws like water on everyone's like happy parade. It's like, oh, here's Chris again to just make everyone feel miserable.
Oh, shit, we got like, Jimmy Neutron over here. What's going on?
It's the hair. Yeah. I'm gonna miss my Dominican barber, man. I've got, like, in my life, there's been very few barbers that I trust with my hair because they really don't do justice to it. This one guy that I have is awesome. If anyone in Georgia needs, like, especially around my area, around the like Decatur, Chambly, Dunwoody, Norcross area, if y'all need a good, really good haircut as a dude, Jordy's Barbershop. Let me know. I'll send you his details. He is awesome. Like, best barber ever. So yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Where's he going?
Yeah.
What is he like leaving your area? Like, why you say you're gonna miss him?
Because if I ever move, I might drive like an hour because the places I'm looking to move to are really far away from him. But like, I might actually drive an hour for a haircut, which I've never done. Like, do you guys have a specific hair person that takes care of your hair?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
it
been
is.
going to the same
Like-
person for like 12 years.
See, most people, especially women, don't. Maybe women might understand, but I don't think people understand. Like, for a guy, once you find that right person, like my wife is like, "Oh, we need to move to this area because like it's got distance between this and work," and I'm looking at like, "No, how far is it from my barber?"
You know how bad I am, Chris?
How bad?
I text my barber and I'm like, what day are you coming or are you scheduled to come in early? And he'll tell me, and I'm like, there is nobody coming in at that time. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I-
it's 4 blocks from me. I walk on down, I put CNBC on the TV, and I chill.
Mhm. And they've been cutting your hair for how long? Like 10
12,
years?
13 years. Like when I come in, like this is what exactly the type of barbershop you think it is. Okay.
Mhm.
Exactly the type. There is no sports when I walk in there.
Okay.
There's no nothing. CNBC is on the TV.
My barber's Dominican. Like, Dominicans are the best barbers. All right, especially if you're from New York, you'll know exactly what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. My last barber, he was a Dominican too. He didn't speak any English. He just, like, me and him communicated via like broken English Spanish, you know? So yeah. And he usually was just number 2, like keep the thing like this one, and that's it. And he just knew. He knew how to do it. And it was a fade and the points on the side, and that was it.
So, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
Matt gave us his take. What is your take on what is happening with SpaceX right now before I answer this question and go off?
I think Elon played this market. He did it in a way where he he played this market well. I mean, the guy knows how to take the public markets and like use them to his advantage to get long-term shareholder value out of going public. I mean, I just wrote something on X right before I went. I said one of the things that we need to talk about eventually is we need to sort of regulate when a company is allowed to go public in its life cycle, because I feel like too many companies now are holding on to this private listing and just basically doing a lot of private deals and keeping themselves so private for like the longest time ever. And then they come out during, like, I'm not even talking about like relative peak. I'm talking about the absolute most peak in terms of in terms of valuation, and just sell this stuff to retail and then also manipulate the indexes into including them. And it's like, okay, like this is you're playing basically a financialized game. I mean, you're doing it well. I can't give Elon any like shit for that. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do as CEO of a company and for his investors, but it just, I don't know, it feels icky.
Well, my problem, I'm going to expand on what you said. If we're not going to have a time frame / Matt, what are you doing? Matt's like
He's-
moving his camera around.
I can't adjust my camera. Is that
I'm
not
just
allowed?
asking what you're doing. So I think that there needs to be a point from a market cap perspective where you can actually get shares on the private market. I don't like these. I do think that there needs to be a private market stock market and a public market stock market, where if employees want to get rid of their shares, they can get rid of them on a secondary market that is much more speculative, and everybody has to sign a waiver. But I think it's crazy that you have to go through one of these firms. I'm just going to call it a firm. No disrespect to the firm. Everybody knows equities in. I personally don't like the idea of a carry cost every year. There's just things about it I just don't like. And a lot of these secondary companies that you can buy these shares from, if you're an accredited investor, I think that the terms are not great. And yes, you can make a lot of money because in some cases, when these companies go public, they go public for so much that these companies taking 10 or 15% off the top and then the 2% carry fee every year, well worth it for the return. But if these companies never go public and you never get that opportunity, it's a lot of sunk money into it. And I think there needs to be a secondary market to allow individual investors to be able to purchase private companies. I think what Jason Calacanis said is absolutely correct. I support him 100% on it because you can go lose all your money at the casino. You can go spend it all on lottery tickets. There should not be a barrier to entry to investing in private companies. I think it's wrong.
I mean, the disclosures is the main reason why, right? Like when you're a public company, you have to go through a lot of disclosures and a lot of things. When you're private, you get to, put a lot of things under the table, do a lot of things under the table. And because of that, as a private investor, you are taking a lot more risk because you're basically putting your money on the word of the thing. So, I mean, the challenge is also that you also have the accredited investor situation where there's a lot of deals that are behind the accredited investor what is it called, classification, that like average retail does not get exposure to. Sometimes I'm like, that's probably a good thing, and then other times I'm like, that's kind of sad because there are deals in the private markets that I could get for being an accredited investor that the average person can't, even if they wanted to. Like I can get terms on like a 12% fixed secured loan because I'm an accredited investor, right? So I can actually give someone money, get a 12% return guarantee, with that's actually backed by a secured asset. But if I wasn't an accredited investor, I couldn't do that. Like literally, I'd have to like only go with like basically what's public and what's unsecured on the bond market, which I feel like steals opportunity from average people. Whereas like people with a lot of money that have it, they can basically get a lot of this. They just have a lot more variety in terms of being able to pick and choose. And they can actually take less risk and make more money than the average retail person can.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that individuals that are labeled accredited investors because of what they make annually or their net worth is, I don't like that they have more optionality. I don't. And I really have a very hard time stomaching the fact that just because person A does not have a net worth of X or doesn't make X a year, they are locked out of the private markets. If they want to take that risk and take that opportunity, they should be allowed to, just like everybody else. It is no longer player versus player at that point. And I have a very big problem with that because it's almost as if the private markets, well, it's not almost, it is, the private markets are gate capped for people that have a certain threshold of assets. And I don't think that's okay. People can lose their money in the public markets just as quick as they can lose their money in the private markets.
If anything, the private markets have a little bit more of a safety than the public markets do, only because the public markets, you always have like a lot more interpretation on what value could be. Private's a little bit easier to contend with, especially for me. I'm on the bond side of things on some of these deals. So I look at this and I'm like, oh, well, this is good. This is something that could be healthy for a normal person to invest in long term. Like I said, you won't be able to get those deals. So,
and now, I mean, I don't think this is new, but KKR has several different funds that give you a 12% return annualized or 13% with exactly what you're talking about. So there's just a lot of things out there that I just get annoyed at. But regarding SpaceX, everybody knows I think the valuation is incredibly stupid. The fact that we even got to the point last night where SpaceX was a bigger company than Microsoft, and Microsoft does 192 billion of EBITDA a year, it was stupid. The fact that it's a bigger company or was a bigger company at one point than Amazon, stupid. But I'm starting to feel like this could become the most vertically integrated company. And if Elon is actually correct, and let's just say the timelines are not, the thesis is correct, but the timelines are pushed out, who's going to, there's no zoning laws. Like there's no nothing out there. So if he has a army of Optimus bots building everything for him and he's shooting the payloads up there, who's actually going to tell him no? And is he going to own everything in space? I mean, what are they going to do? You can't send the National Guard or the Marines to stop him. You can't do anything. So I don't even know what happens at that point.
What about you, Matt? What do you think?
Sell it all today.
It's the second day of trading. Matt's saying sell it all. No, but from a 10 or 20 year period, let's say the plan is to try to run this up to 3 or 4 trillion and then issue equity to buy SpaceX and roll it in.
Tesla, yeah.
Yeah, Tesla and roll it in SpaceX. Then think about what you really have. You have the rockets to launch the payloads. You have the satellites. You have Starlink for the internet and communications. You now have the energy from Tesla. You have the vehicles. You have the Optimus bot. You have the data center computes. You have the AI. Like, what don't you have? And then you got Terafab, if that ever gets built. I mean, how do you, does that become something that's too big to fail that they say is a monopoly at that point? I don't know.
So you buying more or are you just talking, Steve?
No, I'm just saying, I'm floating that idea out there.
So you're buying more?
Wait, you have SpaceX? You're buying more SpaceX or Tesla?
I am a shareholder of SpaceX indirectly through the shadow government. The shadow government bought it.
The shadow government. Oh, you mean my
wife bought it.
She
bought it. And I did buy SpaceX for my nephew. I did not buy it for myself or my wife. But I bought it for my nephew because he's 9. And I'm like, you know what? This is like the perfect thing to add to his portfolio.
Yeah, by the time he needs it,
right,
it'll probably be somewhere in the future. Yeah,
right. I mean, he has to hold it for a minimum of 9 years. He's not getting the account till he's at least 18. So,
yeah, I'm buying my nieces and nephew cruise lines, bro. That's where the money is.
I'm out here buying Elon. Chris is out there buying cruise lines for his nephews.
Yeah, man, I love the cruise lines. The cruise lines are a great place to park your money.
No, but in all seriousness, we did the math. The Colossus costs $15 billion. They're going to do 2.4 billion a month now in revenue from Alphabet and Anthropic. At some point, I mean, in 8 months or so, 7 months, you have it paid off the entire cost of building out Colossus. So now, I mean, I don't know what the margin is on it, but you have to think it's at least a 50% margin at that point. This, if they have a deal with OpenAI lined up that they're not telling us about, that they're just going to spring on us in a week or two to rent out even more compute, I could see this catching a bid. And I think that's what Elon wants to do. I think he wants to get this run up so much that it's almost cost neutral to fold in Tesla.
I mean, if I was Elon, I mean, then again, I'm not even remotely close to Elon in his way of thinking, but I would use this opportunity to tuck in a lot of spectrum and buy up as much spectrum as I possibly could in the market while I still have the opportunity. He already did it with sats. So basically do the same thing, give SpaceX shares, buy up the spectrum, because eventually you're going to, I mean, the goal here for SpaceX is to scale up their telecom abilities, which I think is probably their main growth driver in terms of real cash flows. And then for the next like 10, 15 years. Now, what do I mean by that? That means that if you think about it, these satellites, they can reach all over the world. Their V3 satellites have tremendous capabilities. Yeah, so I think there is a lot of spectrum that's out there around the world, and it's going to be a land grab. The United States spectrum
Chris,
is probably.
Does he need spectrum in order?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
so,
he needs
so
spectrum.
he's gonna have to bid against Verizon and AT&T when the next spectrum comes up for 6G.
I mean, that's why Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, they started to do a land grab on spectrum well before this because they knew that they would get shut out, and then they took that and then licensed it over to ASTS. Right?
Well, that's my question, because I thought that they're going to be able to go direct to cell from the satellites and bypass spectrum. Is that not true?
No, that's not true. You need spectrum. Okay. You need something. Like, I'll give you guys a quick look at a company that I was looking at. Look at ATEX. Like, show everyone the chart for ATEX.
You know it doesn't need spectrum?
What's the ticker?
Lasers.
ATEX.
Okay.
Lasers.
You don't need spectrum with lasers.
Yeah, but you need direct line of sight, Matt.
When you have so many satellites, is that really an issue?
Yeah, it's an issue. Like, I'm pretty sure no one is like, oh yeah, let me shine lasers across the entire planet. Like, I don't know if yeah, this company is pretty much like a monopoly asset right now. It's a very interesting company. Just look at the 1 year on it. I wish I had the balls to pull the trigger on this sooner when I saw the SATS acquisition. But basically, these guys own like a band of spectrum that's dedicated right now to providing internet for utilities, right? But it's very, very valuable, like super valuable. Like, see, the revenues don't matter.
6 million.
That's right. The revenues don't matter. This is not a business that you're buying because of its revenues and all that stuff. The value is actually in their spectrum. Like, look at the price that SATS got taken out on, like EchoStar got taken out on. I keep saying SATS. I'm sorry, EchoStar. So,
all right, hold on. I want to see what the assets are. But they're saying that the assets are only 465 million.
It doesn't matter. That's what the public is saying to you. That's why this is a hidden jewel.
This is the balance sheet. This isn't
right. That's why I'm telling you, this is the hidden jewel behind all of this. There is a massive land rush for spectrum right now. Anyone who's in the market knows exactly. Look at what this guy wrote, the FT Invest Ideas. These guys have a virtual monopoly on this one band of spectrum that they could either license out or even sell and make huge.
They're saying that the
money.
value of this is 2.5 to 7 billion. Management saying that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, after what do you call it? Tesla, not Tesla, SpaceX.
I mean, that's a good point. Amazon's 11.57 billion Global Star acquisition.
That's right.
Jesus. Did you buy this?
I didn't, because I was doing too much research on it, and now it's gotten a little bit pricey, so I'm being a little biatch about it. That's my problem.
Pricey.
That problem with me is that I'm so much of a value investor that sometimes I miss out on these things, but you know, it is what it is. But when I was looking at it initially, I was just like, wow, like who's got a spectrum band that everyone probably is going to covet in the future? And these guys kept coming up. So
I am so on the fence with SpaceX because everything from a valuation standpoint is breaking my brain. Everything. And then big picture, I'm like, yeah, this could freaking work.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Everything's possible. The one thing
did you see the option market?
I didn't.
On SpaceX, they said that the volume on the option market today I think during the day, somebody in the chat, keep me honest, was like $105 billion, $1.5 billion traded already in the afternoon on the options.
Let's see. What are some options that are worth looking at?
Dude, the premiums I was seeing during the day was like 10%, Chris.
I don't care about the. Oh shit! They got all the way up to December 2028.
Oh no, we're gonna get Chris looking at spreads.
Of course, you're gonna be looking at spread. That's the only way to mitigate the volatility. Let's see. Dude, Robinhood is stupid. Sometimes it doesn't load properly. Matt, did you buy any puts on Rocket Lab like we've been telling you to?
Nope.
This guy.
I'm too poor.
This guy over here.
Lasers are going to zero as well.
Just buy some puts, Matt. That's all we want. That's what we, as your friends, I feel like I should buy some puts just for you. You know, and just put the money away on like a side account and be like, hey, Matt, how's it going? You know, and then like the day that you need them, I'll be like, here, I'll sell them to you at cost.
Look at this. Okay. So everybody, July 17th, 1 month out. Okay. 1 month out. You could sell 225s and get paid $17.77 a share. That's like 14% in a month.
What are the leaps worth for puts for like, let's say January of 2007?
Like if you had no intention of selling this, you could legitimately sell the 300 and get paid 580.
Yeah, but what's the puts on what is that thing called on January 2027?
Oh, I'm looking at just July. You want to see January?
Yeah. What are the volumes like for the puts?
Open
interest.
Not a ton yet.
Oh no, they're coming. Go through 30. Okay, so I guarantee at this point, just looking at this is the second part to the Elon fuckover that I see coming. This is the same thing Mark Cuban did in his Yahoo.
So this is, I just did September. Look at how much put interest there is for September already.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're basically hedging their own position right now. Yeah, they're definitely hedging their own position. Guaranteed they're hedging their own position. Insiders, this is what they're going to do. Insiders who want to get out, they know that the price is inflated right now. They don't want to take the risk of not being able to sell. So what do? They would sell. They would actually buy a whole bunch of puts on their already existing shares. Is that legal?
Dude, yeah. I'm looking at the leaps. I'm calculating spreads in my head. This is actually very tight pricing right here, Chris.
Yeah, but can you do that? Is that legal to buy puts against a position that you have that you're locked up against?
I think it's legal.
Why not?
Cuban did it.
Yeah, Cuban did it, but Cuban did it when Yahoo, I think, was already public or something like that, right? Like when he sold his position to Yahoo, what his company is, Stupid Radio on the Internet company. Yeah, insiders would definitely be doing this.
Dude, the 240 is at 86. And you can sell the 270 for $79.20.
Steve, you won't do it. You didn't even buy it yourself, Steve.
That's crazy. I can't believe it's that tight.
What, the puts?
No, the credit spreads, call spreads for the leap. $6.80 for a $25 band at 240 to 265.
Yeah, but that's What do you mean, like to the downside or to the upside?
No, the upside.
No, man, it's not worth it. I mean, technically it could be, but
Oh, it's probably. I mean, I'd have to pull out the calculator, but yeah, that's pretty wild. All right, let's look at the puts for the leap. Yeah, there's not a lot one sold yet out that far.
I would, in this scenario, depending on the risk to reward, I would probably do more of an iron condor to capture like that band in between, but put the condor more towards like the shorter end of things. So I think it could eventually become somewhat range bound between probably like 225 and like 125. I think if it gets back to IPO price, it is what it is. But
I'm not buying yet.
what do you think, Matt? You've been awfully quiet.
I think you guys are talking a lot about space and being vertically integrated, and you guys both hate Rocket Lab.
We don't hate Rocket Lab. I think you're misinterpreting that. We don't hate Rocket Lab. We hate what Rocket Lab stands for.
What does Rocket Lab stand for, Chris? People don't want to buy puts?
Rocket Lab stands for creating a business out of imagination, getting a whole bunch of people to fund your experiments until you reach profitability. And basically, it's a way to milk the market as much as you can until you can't milk it anymore, and eventually you reach profitability and you're able to do what you need to do. But in the meantime, you soak a whole lot of people along the way. You soak them with constant price at the money offerings. You generate cash flow, and you basically survive. And then every time you go down, what do? You launch a few more rockets. You burn more cash.
How is that any different than what Elon did?
Exactly. That's the whole point. That this is what I hated. That's what it stands for.
I mean, isn't that what Google just did as well, though?
Exactly. And I hated that too. I didn't like that. I don't like these things, man. I just think the markets are way more manipulated than people would believe. And the thing is, like, this day and age, the market manipulation is so heavy, and people see nothing but the gains, and so they get, in my opinion, they get too cocky, and they forget that there has to be an underlying business behind this, and whatever these short-term rises are, they are basically just encapsulating investor greed rather than real value of a company. And that's because I'm more of a value investor than a just pure out momentum guy. So, and I see Silicon Valley turning more into financial innovators rather than being real innovators.
I think going back to the space comment that I made, how many what percentage of items that went into space last year do you think Rocket Lab had a logo on?
You told me already, so I don't want to say it.
How many cars did Ford sell the year that it almost went bankrupt? It was more cars. Same thing with GM, same thing with Chrysler. The key that we have, the metric that you can't keep interpreting, which is the number of things that went into space. Okay, what was the margin that they made on that? Did they make any money off of that?
Well, let me ask a follow-up question. I'm not trying to deflect your question, but there's a difference between how much percentage that Rocket Lab themselves put up into space versus everyone else. So 30% of everything that went into space last year. Do you think that Rocket Lab launched more than 30%?
I have no idea.
Rocket Lab did not nearly launch 30% of everything that went into space. So what I'm trying to get after is there's a lot of subcontracting going on that Rocket Lab is actually providing either satellite components, solar panels, reaction wheels, a lot of other things that you're not really truly comprehending. And so a lot of people, unfortunately, think about it. And I've also made the mistake of this as well, of thinking, oh, well, the space components pieces that Rocket Lab is launching themselves into space, Well, that's not the truth, right? I mean, you're talking about Amazon Leo, which is a massive constellation that is being launched by Blue Origin and other companies as well. A large proponent of the subcomponents that Leo is using, right? A competitor to Starlink utilizes Rocket Lab components. The landing on the moon by Firefly was enabled by Rocket Lab. And so I think a lot of people truly don't fully comprehend the amount of subcomponents that Rocket Lab is creating across the board and subcontracting out to. And I'm not saying that SpaceX is not going to do extremely well, but Rocket Lab has partnered with SpaceX on certain missions as well. And I don't think that people are fully grasping that it's not just a launch company as much as Chris Patel likes to believe. I'm just kidding.
Wait, so you're saying it's more of a conglomerated like let's say it's more like GE or Boeing Aerospace, not Boeing.
Yes.
Boeing is probably the wrong thing. You think it's more
Yes.
like Boeing or GE where they actually design all the parts and then that is the business model that they're eventually going to be like championing more, that they're going to build?
70% of their current revenue stream comes from space components.
Really? Interesting.
Only 30% comes from launch. And that'll change. That'll change when obviously the Neutron rocket comes on and every launch will be $50 million. But the space components business is growing very quickly. And so when you have, it might only, like you stated, be 40% gross margins now. They had some historical contracts that have recently rolled off. And so the gross margins have actually improved pretty well. But if you think about it, if you're talking about 30% of everything that went into space last year had a Rocket Lab logo on it, not 30% of everything, right? We're talking about at least had a logo on it, right? So of that, you can't say that 30% of everything went into space is Rocket Lab. So you can't say it's a 30% market share or anything like that. But the fact that you have subcomponents, right? And we're including the Chinese, the Indians, like we're including those people that have launched into space as well. So 30% of every single one of those items that went into space last year had a Rocket Lab logo on it. So in that respect, I don't think people are fully comprehending the execution ability, the manufacturing capability that Rocket Lab is really putting themselves into. There's very few things now that Rocket Lab doesn't actually have in terms of the value chain. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. And I don't think people are fully comprehending that. So initially, when I first bought Rocket Lab, just to kind of put people's minds into it, I was thinking very specifically about Neutron, what that value would be, what that moat would be valued at, and I was thinking $25 to $50 billion. I was thinking more recently about how much and how, like, and you're talking about those ATMs and everything like that. I get it. I'm upset about being diluted as well. So don't take that as a thought process. I think there are over like 600 some million shares when, I was really starting to track the company. It was like 470 million shares. So being diluted by, 15, 20% doesn't really feel exactly great. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a company that has $5 billion on the balance sheet now, cash.
Yeah.
What do you think they can do with that?
No, I mean, look, they've got themselves in a good position in terms of operating for a really long time. Even if they don't generate any real cash flow, they don't have any issues with going bankrupt. I mean, that's the job of every CEO, right? Raise funding when you have the ability to raise it. Like, it's just a normal part of the capital markets. The only problem is when you look at investors, they typically buy and they end up becoming those basically those, the right word isn't exit liquidity, but those liquidity providers that see them underperform the market for years while the fundamentals eventually catch up, and that's happened with every business that you look at, right? So every business, when it's unprofitable, they need to generate cash from somewhere, whether that be through debt or whether that be through equity issuance. Companies that have really low share values, like actual values, but they have like long-term visions, what do? They go to the debt markets. They tap the debt markets. They pay interest. For a lot of these other companies that are in the public markets, if the stock gets overvalued because of hype from the CEO, they use that. They sell shares. They put that cash on a balance sheet. Now it gives them a longer runway. I mean, we saw the same thing with GME, right? Like GameStop is still alive because of that. AMC is still alive because of that. There are still people who basically bought at the top of GameStop and AMC, and they're literally been holding for that thing, that period. And they have no hopes of ever really recovering their money in the short to medium term. Maybe in the long term, movies come back. I don't know. But the point is, the markets are very cruel that way, where when things get really, really good in terms of like valuations, they get really high, it almost incentivizes the company to raise as much capital as possible. So,
Steve, why do you hate Rocket Lab?
I don't hate Rocket Lab. I just think it's overvalued. My own personal opinion. That's all there is to it. I mean, look, I don't want to run through the numbers unless you want me to run through them.
Run through them. That's one of the easiest ways that we have to value a company outside of looking at the guy. I mean, I'm the same guy that just spoke about buying like a company because of Spectrum, right? I said, don't look at the numbers. Don't worry about it. It's a Spectrum that's
right.
The value.
I wasn't going to say that, but look,
but Matt's right in that regard, where Matt sees a vision that's beyond me and you, and he saw it earlier.
100%.
So he gets credit. He gets a lot of credit.
100%. Look, it's a $63 billion company. Okay.
Yeah.
63 billion. In the trailing 12, they have done $680 million in revenue. Trades at more than 100 times sales. Gross profit, 248 million. Okay margin, not great, but okay. Operating income, never made money on a trailing 12 basis. Okay. Net income never made money. And I get that does not mean they won't in the future. Okay. Balance sheet, have a lot of cash on hand, 1.3 billion. We'll call it 1.4. This is 1.38.
That's according to the last earnings. Now they just raised $3 billion, so now it's probably closer to 5.
There's no debt. Clean as hell balance sheet. Clean as hell balance sheet.
You got to give them that. That's great.
That will change obviously next quarter. They just did a raise, but right now, from the information that we have on this, clean.
They didn't do a debt raise, Stephen. They did an equity raise.
Equity, okay.
So, yeah.
So total shares, low float. Love that. Cash flow statement.
That's the problem. That's not the case anymore.
Right.
Because they raised through equity, they issued. How many shares did they issue, Matt?
Wasn't that much. Think about it. There was only 3 billion and they're worth 60-odd billion, so it was less than 5% of the float.
Yeah.
All right. They generate no cash from operations. None. Still spending on CapEx. CapEx is growing. They make no cash on operations. The stock-based compensation I can live with. It's not egregious by any means. Not going to complain.
It's nothing. It's nothing. The stock-based
not going to complain about that. But look, this company, my opinion doesn't matter. This is a textbook of you're buying the story, you're buying the potential for the future, and you're saying, I don't care. I'm willing to wait 10 or 20 years for this to generate a ton of profitability. You're not paying anybody when Matt bought was a much different situation than buying today. Like if you're buying today, you're throwing caution to the wind and you're saying, I read the financials, they suck. But I don't care because they have no debt. And this company with the space economy is going to be one of the biggest. And if they're secondary to SpaceX, nobody's going to be able to compete with them. And I'm willing to wait 5 or 10 years. When Matt bought it, it was completely different valuation. You look at where the analyst community has them turning a profit in 2028 of 18 cents.
Revenue is going to zero, looks like.
600 times earnings you're paying. Now, here's the problem. Not a lot of analysts outside of 2028. I mean, the 8 analysts is really low for me. No, you can't go by this because there's one analyst that's willing to do anything past 2031, but past 2028, there's only 3 analysts in 29 and 30. But even if these numbers are, let's just say that these numbers are correct, okay? And this one guy is being a Super Bowl, 10 billion of revenue in 2035, and you're willing to pay 60 billion for that today? Like, what are we doing? Like, that's so insane.
Steve, if somebody handed you $60 billion today, do you think you'd be able to get a rocket in the air?
If somebody hands me $60 billion today, there's 0% chance I'm even going to try to put a rocket in there. That's the difference.
Yeah, Bezos is spending a lot of money. None of them.
Like, why would I want to compete with Elon? Why would I want to compete with Bezos?
And the rest of the freaking world, because
Like,
all of them have domestic launch services themselves too, like ISRO. Got the folks over in Europe with their stupid thing. The Russians are always sending their Soyuz up there. The Chinese are launching their stuff. I mean, you got national economies throwing shit into space too. So
you know how I feel about Palantir. I would put 60 billion in Palantir before I try to put a rocket in space. I mean, at least Palantir is trading at 92 times this year's earnings. It's no longer that crazy anymore. I mean, on a forward basis in 2028, it's trading at 45 times. Palantir is no longer this like crazy mythical creature. Like, this is starting to become maybe fairly priced for forward growth at this point.
yeah, but just one thing to defend Matt. I'm not trying to gang up on Matt. All right, I just want to make this plain out there. If we go based on these analyst estimates, we are completely deluding ourselves right now into thinking that any of that stuff is even remotely right. If what Matt is saying is correct, and they really do become the GE or the Boeing of the space economy, where they're literally manufacturing the shit out of all these components, all of those estimates that you saw are completely wrong.
100%.
You know why? You know why they're wrong? Because guess what? Like, okay, America just says, fuck it, we're spending $100 billion. We're putting another man on the moon, right? And now all of a sudden you got all these contracts that come in, and now the space economy becomes a big thing. And Rocket Lab becomes a dominant market share player in making that hardware, charging a gross margin. What happens? I mean, every idiot that had an estimate on what NVIDIA could be in 2026 was completely wrong. Why? Because they did not see the AI trend come, and they lost out, right? Well, they lose out, but basically they saw a dying business because you had chips that were, post the mining crisis. So the thing is, me and you, Stephen, could be completely wrong, and Matt could be completely
right.
Right.
We've been completely wrong. Like, I'm not
right.
I didn't even want to go through the numbers. You asked me to. I mean,
yeah.
From a valuation
I'm just saying,
this is a shitty investment. But from a story standpoint and a what can go right standpoint, it could be an incredible investment. And it has been to date.
And that's the thing. Like, if there is a space arms race, then Matt would absolutely be right in saying that, you know what, this is criminally undervalued for the relative future that these guys have. And every analyst out there is going to rejigger their earnings and rejigger their forecast to say, oh, wait a second, $60 billion is actually cheap. So it just depends on where you think this thing is going. Do I think that space is the next frontier? I think so, but I don't think that it's there just yet.
And the real question is, how long does it actually take? And there's just so many variables. Look, Rocket Lab could be a $500 billion company. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of companies that make a lot of fucking money that are a couple $100 billion. And Rocket Lab's going to be nowhere near those in 10 years. Look at Pepsi. Pepsi's a $200 billion company.
We can't we got to stop with this, man. I hate to say this, Stephen, but me and you, we've been in the market so long. It's destroyed our ability to dream.
100%. 100%.
We've been scarred by this crazy thing will happen in the future. That's why I'm buying today, and I'm not going to look at the valuation. And because of that, it's harder for us to. Whereas Matt's virgin, Matt's a virgin to the pain.
Listen, Rocket Lab has so much potential because there's so much unknown, and that's what you're buying. You're buying the unknown, and you're buying that space is going to be incredibly important, and they're going to be a major player because of how far ahead they are right now. That's what you're buying. There is no way to figure out the revenue and profitability, and that's what makes it a TAM that you really can't compute. And like I said, if you're going by numbers today, it's one of the worst valuations I've seen. But if you're going by what can go right, it's probably still a good investment. But that what can go right means 10, 20 years out. Like this is not what can go right next year type thing.
Yeah. Matt, what's your interpretation? Is that right for us to call it what we see it like? Yes, I agree that right now the numbers look like crap, but I'm not looking at the numbers of today. I'm looking at the possibilities of something in the future, and I'm basing my investment off of that.
A wise man once said nothing at all.
If Matt doesn't have anything,
fucking Confucius over here. We got Confucius over here. Confucius say, "You buy Rocket Lab now."
Yeah, look, and I think, Chris, one of the things you and I were so pigeonholed into looking at value, and we look at things from a profitability standpoint. Look, I admit it all the time. I have a very hard time understanding why anybody would want to pay a certain price for a company when they can pay 130 billion for a company that's cash flowing 14 billion, buying back $25 billion in stock and continuing to grow. Like, nobody cares about profitability. And
are you talking about Salesforce? Are you talking about Salesforce?
I'm talking about Salesforce. Salesforce is one of the cheapest companies in the market for no reason other than people think it's going to zero.
Just letting y'all know, Matt is kicking our ass on the stock draft. Like, he's not even like remote, like not even a little bit of a kick.
What do you mean? I beat him on the stock draft.
You got lucky on Micron, bro. Shut up. We neither one of us ever.
Second.
Okay, look.
Second.
First of all, all of Matt's picks, bring up the stock draft. Me and you, we have like
I had 3 picks in the green. 3.
Okay, I don't have any right based on our stock draft to criticize Matt, but you know what? You have even less of a right to criticize Matt for all the shitty picks that you had. You got lucky.
I'm not criticizing Matt.
Oh, jeez.
And I actually froze it in time. So if you go to look at it on the first page, I'm letting it run on this one so we can see how it would have played out in the future. But I finalized the final numbers where it's locked in. And
wait, how is that possible? Oh,
because I took the formulas out.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So last night I took the formulas out on this one. So it's still a running tab on this, and it's still a running tab on the other page. But yeah, this is where we ended up. And
all I heard was you were trying to. Oh wait, so because we did a full 1 year, you didn't want to wait until Friday's close.
Yeah, we did a full 1 year.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And Tanner's the only one that underperformed the S&P. Just saying.
By a lot.
By a lot. S&P was like 26%.
So as a portfolio, like as a group portfolio, we basically held Tanner up. The rest.
Yeah.
Okay. And Matt held us all up, right?
But you're right. I mean, Matt only had 2 picks that were in the red. That's it.
Yeah, and neither one of them were that big of a hits either. I mean, look at the shit that I had.
You had 5. I was the worst. I had 7 in the red. But I'll tell you this, I would run this portfolio back the way it is without changing anything from
So
today.
do it. You've got the opportunity.
I'm just saying I would. I'm telling you that this year, this could be a number 1 portfolio.
I'm taking at least 3 of them if I get a chance to.
I'm sure a lot of people want to.
Matt, do you see any of Steve's picks that you're going to target specifically?
I don't know. I remembered another one that I want to potentially go after, though. I remember that.
Have you started the research to pick your companies?
I have a few.
So before we get
I'm going to go as many big swings this year. I might go for a couple big swings like I did, but honestly, I think slow and steady wins the race sometimes.
I want to, before we get into the stock draft, I want to show you guys how much bullshit the stock market is. Okay. I went on a rant. Everybody who saw the stock market rewind, I apologize. You're going to hear it again. I'm so angry. Snapchat. 7.95% short. this shitty company, okay? Did you happen to see the CNBC video today with Evan Spiegel with his dumbass glasses for $2,200? Anyway, this thing is 7.95% short. There are more people shorting SoFi than SoFi short interest is 14.51%. What world does it make sense that there's more short interest in SoFi than Snapchat? Like, what world are we living in?
Say that again.
SoFi has 14.51% short interest. Snapchat, a company that's never been profitable, has horrible financials and egregious stock-based compensation, only has 7.95% short interest. In what world are we living in where this thing is not double-digit short?
Well, I mean, it's only a $9 billion company, and they could always change things up and cut SBC, right? In which case the shorts would get blown up. So why would I want to do that? Whereas,
yeah, but cutting
SoFi,
SBC doesn't impact their profitability.
yeah, but just like you said, the reason why is, what are you talking about? If they cut their SBC, their operating income is actually positive, and they're buying back shares right now. No,
SBC is not on the income statement.
No. So go to cash flow. Okay, so let's look at Snapchat's cash flow over the last however many years, and look at the latest cash flow.
Egregious.
Yeah, I know, but look at the cash flow. Go all the way until now. That's all old. Go to 2026.
Yeah, they're free cash flow positive. I get
right.
that.
So, like I said, the minute that if they saw short sellers really taking a large position in this thing, they would just cut a lot of that back and start buying back their shares. In which case, now your entire position gets blown up. I wouldn't want to short this thing.
Oh, but they're buying back shares. Look at this.
That's what I'm saying. That you wouldn't want to fuck around and
buying back shares. It's just they've never turned a profit. It's crazy,
right? But that's exactly what I'm saying, Steven. Why the hell would they want to try to short a company that's buying back 10% of itself every year right now? Even if they're diluting shareholders by share issuances, they're buying back a bunch of those shares anyway. So I don't see a short opportunity here for Snapchat.
I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying that it's crazy that there is a larger short interest in SoFi than Snap.
Yeah, but SoFi technically is the more riskier business. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the economy. If SoFi has terrible loan loss ratios go up because the economy sours, what happens? SoFi is going to get a massive hit.
We can agree to disagree on that one. SoFi has performed in every operating environment so far. Flying.
I don't know how Snapchat hasn't turned a profit.
It's crazy.
I mean, I know that they're making cash flow, but just based off of share issuance, right? I mean, that's the real reason. Is the share issuance, or are they actually hemorrhaging cash?
No, look at this. So they have 3.4 billion in gross profit. So they're at 55% gross profit margin or so.
Yeah, and then that SG&A, that's crazy.
And then the SG&A is another 2 billion, and then they're spending 1.85 on R&D. Like, what the hell are they doing on R&D?
I'm telling you, all of that stuff ends up going to share-based compensation. So they have a lot of high-paid employees, and they're all getting paid via stock. So,
Chris, you tried the glasses from Amit, right?
I did. I have them right here.
You got to see what these glasses look like from this guy. Hold on.
That makes you look like a total doofus. I know. I saw that. I saw it for 2 seconds. I was like, yeah, no one's going to buy this shit.
They're $2,200. He's talking about these things should be looked at as a computer.
No, I like the concept, but the form factor is ridiculous. The concept is amazing, but the form factor is absolutely trash.
And she is in Long Beach, California with the CEO of Snap, Evan Spiegel. Julia?
Kelly, thanks so much. And Evan, thanks for joining us here today. You're wearing your new specs, which you just...
Who the hell's wearing those? Like, who is going to buy those? At least the Meta glasses look fine. They look normal.
You know, Evan Spiegel, there's something about him that I just find to be so detestable. And I think I know why. It's because, do you know who Miranda Kerr is?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Miranda Kerr is his wife. She's a supermodel. Now, that wouldn't make you like, oh my God, I hate this guy because he's married to a supermodel. But if you look at her like dating history, her dating history was this like Singaporean or guy from Hong Kong or Malaysia. This guy who's like, I forgot his name, but basically this dweeb ass dude. And she was basically she was the gold digger for that. And my thing is like, Evan Spiegel saw that and was like, yeah, it's okay. I still like Miranda Kerr. You know, like, she's a gold digger, yet you kind of got in with the gold digger. Like, what's going on here? So it just goes to show that, I don't know. My interpretation in terms of like signals sometimes comes from like the manosphere, and that's probably not a good thing. So, yeah.
I just don't like, he took several shots at Zuckerberg in this interview. It's like, dude, Zuck does 100 billion plus of EBITDA. He could buy your company and put it on a shelf with what he's got in his checking account personally. Like, I hope he just woke Zuck up and Zuck just over the next 2 quarters releases some crazy stuff with the glasses. Because I do think wearables are going to be a big market. I just don't know why Snap is still trying to do this. I don't think that they can compete.
So this guy who was like a fraudster, this was Miranda Kerr's ex-boyfriend or whatever. This guy, show the screen. This dude. This guy's like
I have no idea who either of these people are.
Hold on, stop sharing. This is Evan Spiegel's wife, by the way. There. That's her. Basically, this dude was literally like shelling her diamonds and shit, and she was all for it. You know, she dated Orlando Bloom before. So
if Matt wants to buy me diamonds, I'll hang out with him.
Yeah.
Steve's gonna put me in Chanel.
I was waiting for you to say that. I thought you were going to say it before I said this. But in all seriousness, like, who's going to buy this for $2,200? I don't get it.
Who's going to be with this dumbass biatch who's like obviously a gold digger?
You know,
Evan Spiegel.
We don't know. We don't know that. We don't know that. But
I'm just saying, Evan Spiegel got himself a gold digger, knowingly got himself a gold digger. So I don't know if I could trust the judgment of a guy who basically knows that maybe he's into some.
I'm just at the point where this company has never turned a profit, and they come out with this product that is not attainable by almost anybody that uses their platform. You have to think, like, a lot of their platform, isn't it like teenagers?
Who, Snapchat?
I know nothing about Snapchat, but I don't know a single person that uses it.
Yeah, because we're not pedophiles. Sorry, did that come out the wrong way? I meant we are not the age demographic that primarily uses it. And anyone at our age that uses Snapchat, you're probably a pedophile. Just saying.
Look, my problem with this is when you put products out, you have to look at who uses your actual platform and figure out a price point that works. Are these glasses going to replace a computer? If that answer is yes, then okay, it's the price of a higher end laptop. But if that answer is no, if there's a demographic and it's predominantly teenagers and college students, I don't know how many of those can afford $2,200 glasses when Meta's glasses are $300. And you would think that Meta has an actual platform around it.
I mean, this thing could probably help you locate all the children within a certain area while having it driving around in your white unmarked van.
You need to stop.
Give me directions to the near 13-year-old.
You need to stop.
What? I'm just saying, like, You were absolutely right. No, you're basically charging adult prices for a kid's toy.
Yeah, that's what these are at this point. And the problem is, if Meta's was 2,200, at least they're setting a floor. But Metas are $399 and $299. So I don't understand how they can charge this and think that this is a good price or that it's going to be able to be sold. And if that's the case, how much money did they burn on that R&D line trying to build this? I don't know.
Someone said it's not a Snapchat product.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's from Snapchat. So I don't know how it hooks into. You gotta think it's going to hook into their app somehow. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I just looked at it and I was just like, wow, those look like weird. They look so weird. I like the concept though. I really do. I think that there will be a day where everyone does have some level of a wearable that's outside of just your regular phone, but
Yes.
this is probably not it.
And I'm all for it. I was so excited about Google Glass, and it never came to fruition.
You mean the small one? Like the...
Yeah. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. It never came to fruition. I was really excited about it. Because I do agree with you. Like, I firmly believe, and I've said this a lot, at some point we're going to have a glass that can scan somebody and we get their whole itinerary, profile, everything about them, just like a Terminator eye. I'm still waiting.
Maybe they should mandate pedophiles that have been known to wear this thing, and if they see like a 13-year-old child, it'll just be like a giant X, like, no, do not touch. You know, I think that's a good idea. Just train them, just psychosomatically train them. Every time they see a child, it's like, no,
Okay,
maybe you interpret all this. Maybe if they have like short people, you interpret them as children as well. So I don't know.
We are moving on. We are moving on. So stock draft. Chris, what is your goal/strategy for Saturday?
My goal/strategy is fuck over Tanner. I
thought
we were all doing this. I thought we were agreeing.
The cabal is real. No.
All of us are basically going to target Tanner's picks.
The cabal is real. If Amit doesn't take NVIDIA, I'm taking NVIDIA first pick. There's no question about it.
I mean, isn't that the goal of this stock draft, to keep Tanner at the bottom?
Keep away from Tanner. Try to make it where he doesn't.
I mean, we already know all of his favorite stocks, so we just have to target them one at a time, and basically he'll be like,
yeah. I mean, he just made a video about the 5 software stocks he's buying, or 5 stocks he's buying. So
yeah,
you take
which
those.
Which 5 is he buying? I'm gonna watch this video.
AI stocks I'd buy before Wall Street catches up. He put out 8 days ago. And then 2 hours ago, top 6 stocks to buy now, high growth stocks.
Okay, yes, let's go. Which ones?
So CoreWeave.
Okay. You can have that.
He didn't put timestamps in. What a loser. Making this hard on me. All right, so CoreWeave, Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent a lot of time on CoreWeave. Palantir.
He actually said Palantir?
Reddit.
Interesting. Okay.
Alphabet. And Meta.
Okay. Yeah, Meta's the one that I think all of us are going to target from him. Like, I know Steve's like, yeah, me. I'm going to grab his new bank. I'm going to grab his new bank before he gets to it.
I think Meta is a great turnaround story. And I think, listen, I don't disagree on Reddit. I think Reddit's a great buy here.
Yeah.
Like, if Reddit's available, I'll take that midway through.
Yeah. Matt, are you looking to grab any of his positions?
Any of the ones he mentioned?
Yeah.
I do not have any of those on my list at the moment, but my list is incomplete. It's 14 stock. How many stocks? 14?
12.
12?
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't know I thought we were doing 10.
We were going to do 10, but we're going to do 12 because Jason's going to be in it. We have 6 people, so everybody picks twice from each spot.
Okay, so here's a question then.
Yeah.
Are we actually going to be able to trade this thing like
Yeah.
on a quarter? So quarterly
So
rebalance?
you can trade with anybody throughout the quarter, 1-for-1 pick. How many trades you can get done?
So
Quarterly.
wait, you can't sell out of the position that you have and like get something brand new, right?
No.
Okay.
Once every quarter, we have a quarterly rebounds meeting, and everybody gets 2 that you can discard and pick up a new company.
Oh, so you can get rid of one and just pick a new company.
We're doing both. So you and me can trade 5 companies in week 2 to each other against each other. So like if you have Meta and I have Microsoft and we want to swap, we can trade that because they're both picked. We agree we're going to trade those. Quarterly, we're going to do a meeting and we're each going to have the opportunity, and you don't have to, but you can
You don't
get
think that's
rid
a
of.
little too complicated to
No.
track long-term performance that way?
No, because if we do a trade, you lock in your up or down from that spot, and your new one starts from the new price. You don't 86 the loss or the profit, you keep it. So, and then each quarter, you have the option to take 2 new companies if you want to get rid of 2 of your losers, or if you feel that you want to lock in gains and get a different company that you think can run. So this year, there's going to be a lot more to think about.
And a lot more, what is it called? Like content around as well.
Once a quarter, we're going to do a virtual meeting that we put on, but there's going to be a lot more to talk about. And look, there's going to be, I'm hoping that there's some deals throughout the year that people get done. I think that's 2 aspects that we did not have that we should have had from the get-go. Is I don't think that I would not have stayed in HIMS the entire year if I had the ability to get rid of it on a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
But I also may have gotten rid of Micron after 100% and screwed myself. So,
Yeah.
Matt, what are you looking at doing?
Trying to think what Chris is going to buy so I can block all his picks.
It's going to be all software stocks. I'm letting you know right now. Just you can pick as many software stocks as you want from me. There's so many to pick from at this point. You can pick as many as you want.
Don't worry. I may consider shorting Rocket Lab. Don't worry.
I hope you do.
Are you gonna pick Rocket Lab, Matt? Just to, or like, is that even remotely in your possibility, like realm of possibility? Or do you think like the upward run is sort of done now and it's more like leveling off now?
I don't know. I think it could still go down to mid 80s, low 80s. So I don't think it's done in terms of its potential pullback. It's pulled back 50% multiple times over the past several years. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. Would I take it? The problem is it's only a year, right? So it changes kind of your perspective, right? Like Steve and I were chatting, would I take any crypto positions? And I just don't think that we're going to be in a massive bull run by mid-June 2027, right? I think that you might get to a place where you see some strengthening. But at the same time, I don't know how much worse crypto could get from here. I think that there could be another 10, 15% pullback in a lot of these crypto names. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of curious if we actually will see some strengthening towards mid-June 2027. And my thought process on a lot of the crypto names is that it's going to take the second half of 2027. So will you have given yourself enough of a runway? I think a lot of the hyperscalers will be okay. There's one I'm really eyeing, or a group of companies that I'm eyeing right now, but I don't want to give too much on that.
I mean, you guys know what I'm taking.
Microsoft, Meta.
It's pretty simple. NVIDIA, CoreWeave, if I have the opportunity to. NVIDIA, CoreWeave, Microsoft.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, write down. It's only 3 quarters. You just go back to it. NVIDIA, CoreWeave, Microsoft, Meta. I mean, I would take Salesforce again. No question about it. Not even
Me too.
I would take Salesforce in a heartbeat. I would take ServiceNow in a heartbeat. Because here's the thing, they're not likely going to go lower. Like that's gonna be the big thing in my
famous last words. But okay.
No, yeah, famous last words. But what? Salesforce is going to trade at less than 9 times earnings? I'm sorry, 9 times free cash flow? Like really? It's so dumb as it is.
I agree. Which is exactly why that's probably on my list.
It can get cheaper. Yes, it can absolutely get cheaper. The question is, how likely is it to get cheaper? I think that's the big question.
Steven,
my strategy this time. Last time it was a lot more just like pick the companies and hope for the best and see like some trends. I think this time I'm gonna try to be a little bit more technical. I'm trying to incorporate more technicals into my investing as well, but not what's his name, not what
I can't wait to see what Jason picks. I am so interested because he trades for a living.
Yeah. I think
trades shorter term than a year though. So that's tough.
Yeah.
That's why I'm interested to see how he looks at this.
So I'll send you guys this thing. I have this thing on Telegram that I set up. Check this out. So basically,
if you gotta join Chris's Telegram.
No. This is just for me and you guys. No, I'll send it to you guys, but I'm not gonna do that to anyone else. No. But basically, one of the things that I've been doing is setting up like different alerts for different crossovers on like the technicals and stuff. And so I've basically got a bot running this in the background for me. And like every day, it basically comes up with I don't want to show you guys the bot that I have, but it gives me all the tickers that like have hit like the different EMAs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
We're able to read it. We can read it. We can read the phone.
Yeah.
You're becoming blurry, but we can read the phone.
There you go.
I can read all that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically every day it just gives me like an alert. So if you guys want, I'll send this over to you. So this way you can do more technical analysis. And it basically takes all of the Russell 1000 and then it takes all of the Russell 1000 and then does different SMAs and EMAs and basically gives any crossover. So interpretation, like, so if you see anything crossing over, upward or downward on different trends that you can pick up on. The reason why I say that is because now the markets have become so gamified and index prone that there's a lot more to do with momentum than there is with valuations. Like there's a reason why Salesforce right now is trading at such a low price to free cash flow. It's not because the stock is not undervalued. It's just right now the market is looking at all of SaaS and saying, F SaaS, I don't give a shit about SaaS, and everything is getting sold off in SaaS land, right? And now the momentum is just carrying this thing lower. And it's the same thing that happened with healthcare last year, right? Everyone was like, oh, healthcare is dead. No one's going to get premiums anymore. And what happened? The entire market reversed. So I think right now we need to take technical analysis more into consideration than ever before, but not in the time frame that I think Jason does it in. Jason does his like investing in like the 1 week time frame or 2 week time frame. I'm thinking more like long term, like 6 months at a time, maybe even a year.
I'm going to be very interested to see how everything gets picked this year. And by the way, Elon has did you see the stat that with the amount that SpaceX went up, I think when it hit 230, Elon made in 1 day what Buffett had made in 4 lifetimes or something like that?
Say that again?
Heard it here first.
Okay.
When SpaceX was at 230, there was a stat going around that Elon made in 1 day what Buffett made in an entire lifetime 4 times over.
I mean, that's the difference between starting your own business and just being a passive investor in other people's businesses, right? The fruits of your labor become concentrated and basically become much bigger when you own your own business. I mean, think about Bill Gates. Bill Gates made more money, founding Apple than he did the other way around, was trying to invest in not Apple, sorry, in
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah, than doing that. So it just goes to show if the real alpha, like it's very, very hard to become a billionaire by investing money, and especially your own money. It's easier to do it with other people's money. If you look at every hedge fund right now, like every owner, like Stanley Druckenmiller, Miller, Bill Ackman, they became billionaires not because they invested their own money. If they had invested their own money, it would have taken them, I don't even know how long to get to that level. But what they did is they took other people's money and took a fee for managing that money, and then took that money and reinvested it in their own ideas. And then there you go. Then you become a billionaire. So
Steve's a billionaire.
I wish.
no, the question then becomes like, what is your guys' ultimate goal? Is it to just be the manager of your own money, or is it better to, I mean, look, without saying too much, I think me, you, Matt, even Amit have probably outperformed Buffett by probably the next like 20 years. If you had followed the Buffett way of investing, we would not be where we are today.
Yeah, it'd be like Steve. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, that was cold, man. What the F? What the F, man? I was not expecting
it's what the shadow government would have said.
What the hell did Steven do to you today, man?
Nah, that's joking.
You know what the
it's because you said you were gonna short Rocket Lab. That's what happened.
No,
that's what happened.
You know what the problem with the Buffett way of investing is, and I've said this before, and I've taken heat for it, and I don't really give a fuck. I'd rather follow Chris Camillo than Buffett, and I still swear by that, because I think that Buffett's style worked in the 60s and 70s and 80s. He had a style that was perfect for that era. You buy great companies at a value. Munger got him to pay up for great companies that had huge moats. He allowed the dividends to compound, and at the time, those dividends reinvested were able to buy so many shares of those companies. You could never do that again in this type of market. You just can't. And I think that he never changed the way that he invests, and that's why he missed so many companies in 2015 forward. I mean, Carl Icahn had to convince him to get into Apple. And how many times did he miss Amazon or Meta? Never bought Meta, never bought Nvidia, there's so many companies he never bought. And I think that this market is a much different market. If Buffett was born today, or if he was 25 or 30 years old today, I don't think that he could do a tenth of what he did. I think he was right place, right time, super smart, but his style was so perfect for that time. I just don't know that he could replicate it.
I mean, I get it. I talked trash on Apple for a long time because I thought it was the biggest stock, and maybe it was just immaturity. I don't know, and I still talk trash on Apple. So, I mean, I obviously have been completely wrong on that one. And it took me a long time to kind of understand I used to be a very big student of Buffett and be like, I'd rather take a puff of some cigars, that have a couple more butts or a couple more puffs in them than, or whatever the hell he used to say. But I think that where I began to sort of come back around was seeing the potential in potential long-term cash flows. I think if you collect what Buffett said and you kind of merge it with what Peter Thiel said within 0 to 1 about the future potential of free cash flow wedge over time, and at least the perception of that over time, then you'll do extremely well. Of course, if that perception vanishes, like in the case of what I'm seeing with Tesla right now, then it'd be hard pressed to say, okay, continue to dive deep into that. But At the same time, the perception, I don't think, with something like a Tesla, as an example, has dissipated because of the future for Optimus. So when you start to, and then also the energy side as well. So I don't know. I can understand where Buffett maybe fell short, because I was on that boat for a long time. I didn't buy Google, I didn't buy Amazon for quite some time, and it wasn't until I really started to understand a little bit more about the cash flow, because basically I was just looking at things that were above a 25 PE and being like, why would you ever buy that? Right? Because I was assuming and associating value investing with cheap multiples of 15 to 20x, and I couldn't buy anything unless it hit that sort of multiple. And so that would always leave a Google, which is a premier company. That would always leave an Amazon, which was north of 100 for quite some time. And it wasn't until I understood that these are growing entities and you can't necessarily value them based off of what it is today, for what they could potentially produce years into the future, which is one of the main reasons why I bought Rocket Lab. It's one of the main reasons why I bought Palantir. So anyway, it took me a long time to kind of understand that, but it's kind of merging the two thoughts that Peter Thiel and Warren Buffett had.
I want to address one thing in the comments. So when I say this, I'm talking about his stock portfolio, not what the business side of it. Yes, I understand that the insurance companies give him a tremendous amount of capital that he generates interest from, et cetera, et cetera. I also don't think that if Warren Buffett was 30 today, he could replicate the Berkshire side either, because you're not able to buy these insurance companies. It would be next to impossible for him to build up enough capital to buy these insurance companies. These insurance companies were very small and built out under Berkshire. That's why I say this was a much different environment in the 60s and 70s when he was building out Berkshire. But if you look at his stock portfolio, which I just pulled up, how many of these companies would you actually buy today? I mean, for me, okay, Apple, yes. American Express is a maybe. Coca-Cola, great company. I don't know that I'd buy it today. Bank of America, maybe. Chevron at these prices is a no. Oxy at these prices is a no. Google, yes. Chubb, probably not. MCO, I'm not. What is MCO? I don't remember it. Moody's, hell no.
Is it Moody's?
Kraft Heinz, no.
Yeah. No, MasterCard is MA. Yeah.
Yeah, MasterCard's MA. That's Moody's. Moody's, no. Kraft Heinz, no. I have no idea what Davida Inc. is. Kroger, no way in hell I'm buying Kroger.
Dialysis company, DaVita.
Sirius
DaVita
Satellite
Dialysis
Radio, maybe. Delta Airlines, no. VeriSign, no. Capital One Financial is a maybe. New York Times, absolutely not. Ally Financial, no. Google, yes. Liberty, I mean, I don't even know why that's still in there. I thought that all the Liberty stuff, unless it's a different company, I thought the Liberty rolled into Siri.
Well, first of all, let's kind of stop real quick. Let's understand a couple of things. He is not managing a couple of $1 million or even a couple of $1 billion. You're talking about a guy who's managing the amount of money that like nation states don't even have, right? So the opportunity to be able to go into a position and have a concentrated position is very, very slim. So the best way that he can basically provide like a steady return, like I would say that Buffett would be perfect for someone looking for a steady 10 to 12%. But if you look at Buffett's entire investing style, he's more of a loan shark than he is a investor at this point.
He looks for the deals to get warrants and everything. I'm with you.
Yeah.
And I get that. I'm just saying from the portfolio that he has constructed here, this is not what I think does well in this market.
I mean, obviously, look at Berkshire Hathaway. What did they do last year? Like over the last 5 years, what have they beat the S&P 500 over the last 5 years?
Yeah, but I don't. Well, let's look at it right now. But I don't know that you can actually go by that only because you have the entire underlying business. They own 60 private companies. I mean, they own Duracell and Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah.
in addition to all the insurance stuff that they own outright. So let's
Everyone's like, let's talk shit about Kathy Wood.
so they're flat over the past year.
Yeah.
So they've underperformed the S&P in the past year, and then over the past 5 years, they're probably right there with it.
But I will say, I mean, I think where Buffett, if you look on a stock return portfolio, you'd probably sit there and be like, okay, underperformed except for maybe using Apple, etc. But I don't think his thought process was ever to invest in like a Rocket Lab or like a Palantir. Like I think his thought process was his operated businesses that he had, the Fruit of the Looms, the BNSFs of the world, were churning out so much capital that he needed elsewhere to kind of put that and also get a steady dividend. So I think it was more of a capital preservation and grow with certainty rather than a, trying to outpace and make 30% annualized returns. He wasn't trying to do a Jim Simmons,
No, I get that. I'm just saying that when you look at the portfolio, I just think that this portfolio style doesn't work in today's market. And if you were going to build a portfolio, I think it's pretty easy to beat what Berkshire owns as stocks. I'm not talking about the underlying businesses that they own outright. I'm just saying if you were to, all of our portfolios definitely beat their stock portfolio over the past year.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. If we took those stocks and we took the 52-week return and averaged them out, I would be willing to bet that the three of us in the stock draft slaughtered their returns.
We did. I mean, the question is, can we repeat it again next year?
I don't think that this year is going to be the year that you find 5 or 10 Xers. I think that we're going to be lucky if we have a couple of companies throughout all of us, they're up 300-400%. I think that this
I agree with that.
Much harder.
I agree with that.
Like
I think we got some
is to pick 10 companies that don't lose money for me and just try to get 25%.
I think we're all in the same consensus, to be honest with you, because I'm thinking the same thing. And
Yeah.
Matt, are you thinking the same thing? That you're not going to take as much risk next year as you are that we took this year?
I mean, there's some flyers I think I'll try to take, but I mean, I think that's what I tried to do last year, right? Is this, there was a couple flyers like Rocket Lab and ASTS, but I tried to really pick solid companies that I thought would return decently well. I mean, other than maybe ABCL as well, you could consider was one that was a flyer that I was really trying to get, but everything else like Bros, and a few of the other companies, I think I was just trying to make good risk-adjusted returns. I wasn't really trying to knock it out of the park. I didn't think Bros was going to return 300%. I was just looking for a 30 to 50% maybe. And unfortunately, it was down 6%, but
we'll see.
I'm going to be looking for value companies that are not at risk of being disrupted as much as people think. So there's a lot of companies right now in the SaaS space. If the SaaS space only had a couple of like major sell-offs, like a few companies, then I'd be like, yeah, this is probably not really an opportunity. But when I see the entire sector get sold off, I know that the market is throwing out good companies with the bad ones.
There's 3 that are so ripe right now. Oh my God.
I know.
3: ServiceNow, Salesforce, and Workday. Oh my God. Whew.
I'm buying them. I agree with you. They've got cash flows. They're buying back shares. They don't have nearly the amount of disruption risk as the market is giving them. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I'll probably layer on some.
SpaceX buys Cursor for $60 billion today, and it goes up. Salesforce makes an acquisition for $3.5 billion, and it goes down.
So if Cursor's worth 60, my camera has been, I don't know how long it's been. That's my bad. If Cursor's worth 60 billion. How much is Replit worth?
I have no idea. I don't even know what the metrics are.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. I think you made a really good investment with Replit.
You probably made a very good one.
Yeah. I like Replit. I really do.
Should have bought more. That was too big of a. It was my first private investment, so I wish I took a bigger swing. But
I want to talk to you guys about something before we go. There is a thing happening in the background of the markets that's, I don't want to say shady, but that's exactly what it is. So these SPV structures that are happening, you have to be very careful and read through all the paperwork. And I'll tell you why. Because this is what's happening. You've got a private company. You've got an employee in that private company. He's getting paid by a whole bunch of money in stock. They want to exit the position. SPV number 1 goes to this person, says, I will buy your stock at X amount of dollars. They get those stock certificates. Okay. Then comes SPV number 2, 3, and 4. Those SPVs now contract to SPV number 1 and saying, hey, I want a piece of that allocation that you got. Okay. And then SPC number 4 sells to SPC number 9, 10, 11, 12. And then SPC number 5 sells it, other SPVs. And you've got this weird pyramid thing happening right now. And everyone is in there taking their respective cuts. So when you get to offering documents from your SPVs, double, triple, and quadruple check that. Because some of these SPVs may or may not actually have the rights to those shares. Have you heard of anything like that happening?
Yes and no.
I would say be very careful. Very careful. Because a lot of the companies, when they allow for the sale of the first SPV, it's completely fine. The company, the board of directors says, totally cool with it. Go ahead. You can sell to this company, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But then when that SPV sells to another SPV that sells to another SPV, the company does not allow for that.
Yeah, well, look at Camillo. They bought, and I'm probably going to misquote some of it, so I apologize, but they got burned because they owned some fund that owned shares of SpaceX, and something happened, and they ended up losing the position at a certain price, and they got their money out of it, but they were forced to get out because of something like what you're talking about. They spoke about it last week on Dumb Money.
Yeah. Be very careful, because I think a lot of times people come to you with a deal and says, look, I've got a deal for the private markets, but you have to be very careful with how you're dealing with this, and only deal with very, very reputable, providers of SPVs. So just be on the lookout. Just caution for anyone that is trying to do that. And then also remember, every one of those SPVs is taking a cut of the carry along the way. So it's like,
listen, it doesn't matter if you're doing a SPV or if you're using Equity Zen or another company, they all take a cut. I mean, I can tell you the terms that were offered to me on SpaceX 2 years ago that I said no to, that now looking back, I should have said yes.
Me too.
I mean, Chris, it's probably the same terms you got offered. They said, if I remember correctly, 15% goes to them when SpaceX goes public, and there's a 2% carry fee every year that it doesn't go public. And they didn't have any information on the numbers. It was just the valuation, this is the investment, how many shares you get, and I paid 2% every year, and when it went public, I paid 15%. Or 15% went to them, and the other 85% went into my account.
Wasn't it 500? I forget what the terms were.
What do you mean 500?
500 billion.
This was 2 years ago. I really don't remember what the valuation was.
I had
I
the
think it was
ability.
significantly under 500 billion, man. I think it was like 200 billion.
Yeah, this is all the list of ones I got in 2021. Like, I don't want to show the person's like phone number, so I'll keep that covered. But
You just read them off. We trust you, obviously. You just read
okay.
'em
SpaceX, Rubrik went public. SpaceX went public. Impossible Foods, Plaid, Kraken, Adipar, Automation Anywhere, Data Robot, Earth to Energy, Green Life Farms, OpenSea. God, you guys remember OpenSea?
Yep.
That one. Rubrik, SpaceX, ThoughtSpot, Tanium, and Triller.
Kraken was one I was actually exploring to buy right now ish. If we didn't do that other one that we recently were discussing.
Yeah.
All I know is it would be nice to get in on Anthropic.
You know who the best VC would have been had he not got arrested? SBF. SBF had a position in
Dude, he would have
Cursor.
been worth what, 115 billion right now?
Bro, every one of his picks were solid. Anthropic, Cursor,
Everyone.
every one of them. I mean, all he had to do was not mess up that whole thing, and he would have been legendary, dude.
Would have been crazy.
Yeah. You know, he used to work for Jane Street. These guys at Jane Street, man.
I'm going to have to call somebody tomorrow. Why did I do this to myself, Chris and Matt?
What?
I'm on Equity Zen's website, and I know that I'm going to hate the terms, but they may actually have Anthropic and OpenAI.
I'm not buying any one of those. Those are my not dealing with it. Fuck that.
What are they giving for figure?
I'd have to log in. I don't want to
Yo,
log in.
Mid doesn't have to worry about money. No mo. That's all, that's all I know. That is all I know. Kalshi, I'm curious with it because I got offered Kalshi at 9 and I was seriously considering it, but the regulatory environment, I was just like, eh. So I didn't end up doing it. I think I ended up doing Replit instead.
Furiosa AI, Whoop, Boring Company, Replit.
Yeah, what are they offering for Replit, Steve?
I have to log in. I'm just going to call one of the people I know at Morgan Stanley and find out.
A few of my buddies did Shield AI.
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
Shield AI.
Shield.
Somebody was talking about that recently.
Notion, Harvey, my brother-in-law, I think uses that. He's a lawyer, so.
Oh shit! Arctic Wolf is on here, dude. Let me tell you something. Arctic Wolf is so legit.
What do they do?
Chris, you're gonna love this.
Okay, I know Varda. Varda is actually pretty interesting.
So I've used this system before. It is insane. Insane.
What does they do?
So they're
Hmm?
they're a sock.
They're a sock?
Yeah.
What's a sock?
The acronym is shit. There's a knock and a sock. So network operating system and security operating system for IT. So they do. Why can't I get rid of that? That's annoying. Try to make that a little bigger. They basically manage everything for your back end.
Got it.
So
it's like a CrowdStrike.
It's like a CrowdStrike, exactly. And it's such a good system. Such a good system.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you need as much cybersecurity as possible.
Needless to
AI.
say, I mean,
Yeah.
what can I say? All I can say is that I've used it and it's awesome. And there was never a problem.
I
Since
just got
Matt,
an email for Polymarket at 14.
Matt, if you really like the space economy and you think that that's going to be big, look at Varda.
I wonder
Look
who
into
launched
Varda.
a couple things for Varda.
Rocket Lab.
I wonder who made some of their buses.
Interesting. Okay, Matt. Interesting. You have already researched it. What's Varda like valued at right now then?
I don't know. The thing that was a problem with Varda is I think like the Winnebago 3, if I remember correctly, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but they wanted to decouple from Rocket Lab, I think, because Rocket Lab made their first and second buses. And for anybody that wants to know what Varda does, Varda is trying to either create anti-gravity or low gravity experiment chambers for either semiconductors or medical pharmaceuticals or something like that. So the thought process is that you might be able to in low to zero gravity do some different types of experiments. And so Rocket Lab launched the Winnebago 1 and 2 into orbit for them, and then actually was one of the very first items that was able to land back into orbit in quite some time. And so it's pretty historic, actually. I forget what the exact record was or like notable celebration was, but I think it was like a satellite safely returned back to Earth's orbit for quite some time. But Varda, I think for the Winnebago 3 went and did their own rather than using Rocket Lab, and I think it failed miserably.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
They're not as good as Rocket Lab.
Yeah.
On that note, I think we're going to end it out unless there's any other topics you guys want to go over.
No, but I appreciate you guys chatting with me because I wrote a few more ideas down for the stock draft.
You know what? As long as you steal them from me, that's all that matters.
No,
I'm okay with you stealing them from me, Matt. It's all good.
Same here. It'll stop me from doing something stupid.
Yeah, like shorting Rocket Lab.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should. I mean, technically, you could get rid of it, right? After a quarter.
In 3 months, yeah.
That's a good thing. I need to think about understanding what 3 months, like what.
I mean, Matt, for your strategy, I mean, I shouldn't even tell you this, but I'm going to. Since you think crypto will be good in the second half, you could theoretically take something you think will work for half a year and then exit in 6 months and go pick up like a BMNR or an MSTY or something.
You're not wrong. I mean, I seriously need to think. I seriously need to think. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, I don't think, how do I say, like, going back to the conversation we were having earlier about, I'm not trying to find home runs per se. I'm just trying to find things that do well. And like you're stating, like, I don't expect BMNR to get back to like $30 or something like that. But even if it gets back to 20 or 21, and if it's currently at 16, that's a big W, you know?
Right. There's a lot of things right now that are cheap. And if you were to make a portfolio of Netflix, Salesforce, BMNR, ServiceNow, a couple other things, they may not be exciting, but they're so cheap, they just may not go down further. And you may be able to rack out 20, 25%. I don't know.
Man, I'm looking at something on Twitter and I'm like, bro, if someone made a commercialized version of this, like via 3D printing, this could actually work really nicely. Check this out. So this is like this bowl where you just put water in one side and it basically uses physics to like, you know, like make a vortex, right? And you could use it to clean fruit. It's pretty freaking cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's actually
I've been
really-
yeah. Just 3D print something like this, as long as it works, it would be cool. I've been working on, you guys are gonna laugh at this, but I'm working on an art piece. But it's more like an interpretive art piece. If I actually get it done, I'll send it to I'll send you guys one each. But basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking, and it's something simple. It's nothing super complicated. I'm getting 1-inch blocks of 7 different metals, and each one of those blocks is a 1-inch block. It's like all the same thing. And basically, I'm gonna have like a wooden board, and gonna have to like create like some screw-in holders, but basically it's like a nice little desk ornament. And the purpose of it is that every one of those blocks is going to look very similar to each other, but they're all going to have different weights. So if you go on the one end, you're going to have literally like an aluminum weight, like it's going to be like an aluminum. This is like all over like Amazon. You can buy some of these blocks, but it's like a nice like constant reminder that everyone is going to interpret what you're seeing and what other people are seeing, and you'll never really know what something really is until you hold it in your hands. Cool, right?
That's pretty cool.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. So if you have a block of like a solid block of tungsten on one hand, and then a solid block of aluminum, they're all going to look basically the same, but they're actually 2 different companies. So that's the way I'm interpreting it, is that some people will see that aluminum block and think that that's where the value is, but the real value is actually in the tungsten, because that has the deeper thing. So what do you guys think?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
I've seen people sell these as like a science experiment kind of thing, where they just, for teaching purposes, but I kind of want to turn it into sort of like an art piece and like make it and the thing that I'm going to make it sort of unique is that none of the blocks are going to have labels on them. None of them. You're just going to have to trust that each block is worth what it is, and you're going to have to align it however you want. I also thought about like doing it in reverse, where I was going to take like a certain weight, and one is like an aluminum piece and
Chris Rose.
Speaking to too badass.
No bueno. Chris Froze. Well, in case anybody cares, I won my Phillies bet and my Yankees bet today, and my parlay is currently working.
Think you're better than me, Steve?
Just saying. Just saying. He looks so funny like that. I can't. I gotta remove him until he gets back.
Beep beep. Pulled the plug.
Everybody. I don't know if Chris has come back. He just left. So that probably means he's going to log back in.
What other private companies would you want to buy, Steve?
At first I think Anthropic, but then I think about Google and my idea about them being able to potentially go to 0 on Gemini. So maybe, I don't know. I actually think Plaid and Stripe are interesting.
Those aren't bad. I think if you get a good valuation, then potentially.
Yeah, I think Plaid and Stripe are interesting. Obviously, Anthropic and OpenAI should theoretically do well. Oh, shit, Chris lost internet? That's why.
Hot Steve, man. The myth, the legend.
All right. Chris, we're going to close it out then since you lost internet. These things happen. Oh, perfect reason for him to get Starlink. Just saying.
Steve, how does it feel to be a contractor for SpaceX?
What do you mean a contractor for SpaceX?
You get paid by Twitter, don't you?
Shit, you're right.
Steven, I know everything. Don't ever underestimate me again.
I didn't even think about that. Shit. Later, Chris. All right, everybody. We're going to get going. If you like this, please like and subscribe. See everyone tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Please go follow Matt on YouTube. Go follow Chris on X. See everyone tomorrow.
Good
Have a
seeing everyone.
great rest of the evening. And if Charles didn't already say, get your steps in.
Steve's been waiting for a girl like you to come into his life. Oh, that's the wrong one. His name's Steven. All right, I just had to go on the channel to